I want to go into this movie and like guess who the killer is. The least I know, the better. So that way, when I'm watching it, I actually feel like a fan. Like any good murder mystery, you're not here to try to solve it before you watch the movie. You're to solve it as you watch the movie. What is happening, folks? Welcome to another episode of Nerds at Night. How is everybody doing out in podcast land? It's been a while. I hope you're doing great. Hope the new year's treating you great. It's gonna be a fun ride to start off the new year. Obviously, we've got a great movie coming up. If you're here, you've seen the title. But if you don't really know, today we're talking all about... But you guys know, I love this film franchise. I want to break down. We've gotten two nice trailers. They're like a minute long. Got the Super Bowl one. We got another one that was released online. But you guys know, I can't break it down alone. I mean, I could break it down alone. It's not as fun if I break it down alone. So today, I'm bringing in a guest. And if you guys have followed the channel, you guys already know who this guest is. He's come on. He's done an episode of Whiskey and a Mystery. He's come on to do the first trailer of Scream 7. You guys know him? You guys love him? If you don't know now, you're going to find out. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mike from Whiskey Morgue. Mike, what's happening, baby? How you doing, man?
Even better after watching that intro and then seeing your face, man. Just to be completely transparent, let me tell you, like, these trailers dropped. Blake messaged me yesterday. I don't know what date it'll be when this comes out, but it doesn't matter. Blake messaged me yesterday and was like, dude, we got to do something. And I was ready to tell my wife to like take care of business. Like I'm going out to record. But we pushed it one day, but like we said, you know what? Okay, tomorrow let's jump on. And here we are. I'm like, dude, it's always a good time. Obviously I love talking Scream, but even more so when I get to do it with you.
Man, thank you.
Even though it's not an official Whiskey and a Mystery, but still when it's a Whiskey and a Mystery intro and I get to jump on here with you, it's a good time.
It's a great time. Yeah. A return guest. Also, after the first episode, we just sort of clicked. People watch these episodes. We've spent a few minutes together, but they don't know the plethora of hours we have communicated with each other. Like,
yeah,
on and after these podcasts, which is sometimes my favorite part. It's actually my favorite part. Like, these are fun, but like what people don't see out there, what you guys are missing is a behind the scenes of like how the sausage is made. Like, it's a blast. I am so happy to know Mike as a person. So happy to we've traded handshakes, whiskey samples for those and new to the know. And you've hooked me up with some cool shit. I've hooked you up with some cool shit, and it's just going to continue that way. Like, we've just sort of become instant homies from the US all the way to Canada. And, you know,
Canada.
It's kind of beautiful. But today we are gathered here to break down and talk about these new trailers. We have two of them. One of them you weren't aware of, and one of them you were, which is kind of cool. Because I have some thoughts, even more after we broke down the first trailer of this movie. So without further ado, I got to pull up these trailers. They've had a few TV spots. They've had the one big trailer and a few TV spots, and all of a sudden people are like, "Yep, sign me up," and sign me up all the time to come watch this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't expect for it to have this much momentum, but I'm here for it. And I think I even mentioned in our last video was that after things fell apart with the controversy around like what they were building after 6, I thought because it would feel like a scramble that we wouldn't get this kind of like geared up momentum for it. But I think with like, you know, Kevin Williamson taking the helm and getting involved in all these like legacy characters, whatever capacity we see them in, has really just like driven home the fucking nostalgia train, because everyone's on board and about it, and it's fun. I think this one's giving me the feels
right
again.
All the feels and it's tickling all the pickles, if you know what I mean. Like I said, without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's pull up some of these trailers. Mike, if you're ready, I'm ready.
All right. So
Let's get right
is this the
into it.
one that I have watched?
This is the one you have watched. This is the big
Okay.
game spot because they can't officially say Super Bowl because
Yeah,
it's
big game spot.
copywritten. So this is it. Let's check this out and we'll go to the next one.
I'm gonna make everyone you love suffer while you watch.
This isn't gonna stop unless I stop it.
Where is my daughter?
Yeah, that is a trailer right there. And you were saying everybody creamed their pants when they saw this?
Yeah, I feel like, and especially at the end, Stu's voice coming on at the end there. Because everyone's just so excited for Matthew Lillard to be back. But yeah, I watched this first with my headphones in.
Okay.
And I got goosebumps. I mean, part of it is just like being infiltrated with all like the sounds and the cuts, but it's good. Like I feel like it does like two things. It has like the spooky element. Of course, you're thinking it's like the whodunit, but it feels menacing and intense. And even starting with the burning home,
Mhm.
we can speak to that a bit more after. But like I do like that they just keep coming back to this whole like burn it all down thing. Like, and flames. If you watch anything, man, pyro just enhances any concert or performance. So you give me some pyro, and it's Stu's house. I'm sold. I'm hooked in.
We've got one more trailer too to go into before we have our thoughts about all this, and let's get right into it.
Scott, why are you calling me?
It's not Scott. You're going to die tonight.
The scary voice thing is a little bit sexy, but you could work on it.
We are back. We are 2 trailers in. What do you got for thoughts? And again, that I think that last one was just a bit more expanded on the scene that we saw from the first trailer, but like a little bit more in depth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So maybe we just start there because I feel like that one is just kind of like piggybacking off of what we'd already seen. You said to give a little bit more context. I do like that we get a phone call and she's obviously standing by the knife block. Call
playing
back
with the knives.
Yeah, playing with the knives. But I'm assuming she's at home at this point, and then her boyfriend are going to venture off to go visit the house. And I think that's kind of cool if like she got this like foreboding warning that like you're going to die tonight. You're going to go to the house. Obviously, I'm just stitching things together right now. But I like that element, and even the house, seeing the crime scene set up with the outline on the ground.
Oh yeah.
I like that it really is this kind of like preservation of what happened in the past, because I think it'll be the best way to then like move forward. And if you've watched the predictions video that we did on the original trailer, that's where my hopes are in terms of like, and we'll speak to that later, but like where I want this film to go, where it's like obviously we're pulling on the nostalgia strings and we're bringing all this in, but I think with the hopes of throwing some fun new twists in there and changing up the direction. So yeah, that first trailer, I think just, it adds a bit of context. We get the traditional phone call. And then we see a little bit more of what happens inside the visit to Stu's house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I like that. I like to know a little bit more. And then it makes me suspect even more. I'm like, where's the boyfriend in all this? Like, we know that there's a boyfriend, like where is he? Is he killed? Because I think we did talk about this as a possible killer in like the first time we did it. We're like, could it be that guy from YouTube? But like I forget his name, Johnny Tator or whatever his name is. But like, could it be him who's the actual killer and he's the one carrying all this out? And we're introduced to him in the first third of the movie, but if we never see his body, like what's going on? Like, is he the killer? And if he is the killer, like what's the motive? So it even more like sort of resonated with me then, that I'm like, dude, like we didn't see a dead body. We didn't see him get carried off screen somewhere. Like, and maybe he gets killed in some like crazy way that we just don't know about yet. But like now I'm starting to like I'm even more suspicious after that trailer. I do like too the big game trailer that we got, because it expands upon even more stuff that we saw in the initial trailer, as far as like, does Sydney's daughter get kidnapped? And is that why she's on Gail's TV show and she's trying to like find her daughter? And like the killer is like a bit more menacing. And like, if so, like, why is he menacing? And why are they going to what seems like a psychiatric house? And like, why does this person have these like drawings of like all this stuff from like
Yeah.
dreams of, you know, Christmas past type thing, you know, like what?
I couldn't help
Who is this
myself, but I
guy?
went to like Rob Zombie's Halloween when they're like but inside the room with all like
Mhm.
the illustrations. Gail, I mean, it's enough that Gail gets her interview with Sydney.
Right.
So it must
Finally.
be, yeah, it must be something significant that, you know, and yeah, that's, I had those questions too, is like, yeah, obviously we know he's coming for the daughter, but does he kidnap her, and to what degree? Quickly with the first one, with elaborating on their visit to the house, in the big game trailer, we see someone get attacked like through the plastic sheets. That is that in the? Do you think that's in the house as well?
I mean, I think people have strongly suspected that that's the husband
Okay.
of Sid, like Sydney's husband, getting attacked, and everybody's been like, "Oh yeah, Joe McHale is about to die." So like, I
Okay.
guess he's about to. I guess they're showing that he's gonna die. Like, which is kind of strange that you would put a kill like that out, but it's not. When like I went through that trailer right after, you know, everybody across the internet broke down the first trailer, and I was like, why are they putting kills in these first trailers? Like, this is so weird. And then I through the trailers of like 4, 5, and 6, and I was just like, oh, it's actually not that weird. Like, they kind of, if you watch the trailers and then you know the movies, you kind of know at least one character who's not gonna make it to, like, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. And also I think people have been strongly suspect of Sydney's husband. Is he a killer? You know, like how would a killer have access to the house? How would the killer, you know all this ins and outs? And that would be interesting. You try to figure out, like, damn, bro, you're that crazy. You want to kill your daughter? You know, like, that's, again, I'm just kind of speculating at this point. But yeah, it does strongly look like the husband, Mark, is covered in like attacked, covered in plastic, and then just like shanked to bits at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's tough because I keep reminding myself, like, with every installment in the franchise, like, they're always very self-aware of like advancements in technology. So when we see Ghostface dropping down from like the attic, like you said, to have access to the house in that way, we're not in 96 with primitive technology here.
Right.
Like I'm guessing it's Sydney, like she has cameras at best and like an alarm system of some sort. And so, yeah, to have access and be able to move around the house like that sets off a few alarms. But like you said, like to suspect that, you know, it's her husband and he's going to go to that length with his wife and daughter. I don't know, but
right. Yeah. I don't know. Like, there's just a lot of questions that I have after watching it, but it does look like the killer's attacking everyone. Like, everyone is in the scene. He's attacking Sid. He's attacking her daughter. He's attacking her friends. He's attacking Mindy. Like, he's kind of attacking everyone.
Yeah.
And the person that I don't see that he's attacking, and I wonder if he finally doesn't make it out, is Chad. Like, does Chad finally get offed in this movie? Because he made it out of 5, barely. Right? He made it out of 6. How? Like, he was stabbed infinity times by 2 killers.
Yeah.
How, Sway? How? Let's cut to a clip of Kanye. How, Sway? How, Sway? Like, how? I don't understand this. So, like, does he finally get it and he's not coming back? You know what I mean? Like, because somebody has to come back. I think just thematically, screenplay wise, somebody has to come back to these movies and not be able to make it through.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I think that's more than fair. But I do, like, again, even with without even predictions, I am really digging this like menacing, scary Ghostface and the body suspended in the theater.
What's up with that? That's creepy.
Yeah. It kind of brings me, like, in Scream 1, you see like the bodies hanging in the tree, and I feel like, yeah, you know, Ghostface time to time does these like acts of display, but I feel like that got lost a little bit along the way.
Oh yeah.
So like, but like, what's crazy is if you look at the body, it's like the arm is positioned that it's being held up, And I'm sure if someone zoomed in, they'd be like, well, it's like a wire. I'm going to assume the person's dead, but they've been propped in such a way that they're like gracefully
Like
swaying back and forth.
flailing a back and forth.
Yeah, because like your arm wouldn't be like propped up like this. If you were dead, you'd just be a raw piece of meat hanging there.
Right.
But so like whatever. But my whole point is whatever this was, we're gonna 99% say this person's dead, and people or the police, we see the kind of like the them storming a theater. It seems like whether it's just chopped up that way, that then there's a body floating across, and I'm just like, that gives me the creeps, and I like that. And I feel like that's what I'm looking for, like a menacing ghost face.
I want some heebie-jeebies.
Yeah, because like as much as Scream can be fun and should be, I'm looking to go right back to some like, yeah, it's fun until it's not, and this guy is maniacal.
He's standing on business, the way the kids say in the words of the kids.
Yes, standing on business. Hear that one in class every day.
Cheers for standing on business.
Yeah.
Well, you sure know a lot about me for another asshole hiding behind a voice changer.
Oh, I'm not hiding, Sydney. Not this time.
This killer seems angry. He seems upset. He seems like he's got a point to prove. And it seems very personal I mean, it always does with Sydney, right? Except for 5 and 6, right? Because 6 he wasn't a part of. 5, it didn't feel as like
felt a bit shoehorned. Like, yeah.
Right. She was there and she just happened to be caught up in the whirlwind, but like the story and the plot against killing people was not focused on. Like if she never came into town, there's still the plot and the motive for why the killers were killing. It still would have gone through. She just happened to come into town and it happened to be a bonus for them. You know, they happen to get some extra credit work. But 1 through 4 is very personal. This seems like intentionally personal. Like, oh, you have a happy life. Oh, you have a daughter. Like, oh, I am going to destroy that and everything. Like, I am going to disrespect everything that came before me. And that for me gives me like, I think I feel the same way that everybody did. Like as soon as you watch that first trailer, like, and you see the house on fire, which starts off on one of these trailers, it's like the disrespect, you little shit, like the disrespect that's happening right now. Like, who do you think you are? Who are you? Yeah. Who are you to do such a thing?
But you know what's wild is that, so then I feel like naturally a lot of people are going back to like, well, then it's someone who has this like intense relationship with like who knows Sydney, and you know you hear like everything about like Stu reappearing, but I still have the feeling that it's like someone, and you know we'll go back to, because we need to talk about those illustrations, because there's a room in a psychiatric hospital, and you're saying like he's been. Like, so I don't know how much they're divulging here, but he's been plotting this
for a while. For how long?
Yeah.
And who is this? And like,
yeah,
since
and
when?
So is that like, are they showing that they at this point they think they're narrowing down? Again, red herring, I don't know, but like they're narrowing down the suspect of who but like where I feel like it's feeding into what I want to happen is that maybe it is someone who's like so obsessed and upset, but it's not necessarily as personal as we think. And I feel like I'm just really like rooting for someone who's like, there is and I feel like in Scream there's always going to be a connection of some sort, like otherwise like I don't know if it works, but I just want something where like someone is really angry and it's not as obvious as we'd expect. But yeah, the illustrations on the wall got me thinking. I'm like, did they actually walk into a room and they're in a psychiatric ward, so it'd be assigned to a certain patient who now has escaped?
Yeah, I think now that you're talking about it, I think hopefully the clear answer is like, oh, this is somebody that did escape and they did have all this and they were this plethora of a fan, but they're not the killer. Like they find a person and they're like, oh, you're just obsessed with the stab lore.
Yeah,
you're not the killer. Oh my God, that means that the killer is still out there and we still don't know his motivation.
Yeah.
I hope that that's the route that they go. And I hope that's what they're setting up here. I hope it's not that it's like, oh, you remember that character that we mentioned like 2, 3 movies
Yeah,
ago? And
no, I
like,
don't want that.
remember, like we didn't ever talk about them, but they've been in a crazy house. So it's like Stu's sister, which is what a lot of people are saying. And like,
They just show a
she's just,
montage of creepy eyes, like
yeah, what? Since when? What are you talking about? What do you mean?
you remember that one scene she was actually behind the corner in the bush and like
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She was the ghost face that was chasing Tatum and Sydney around in the grocery store. You remember that scene from Scream 1? You're like, do not retcon that in. Do not retcon that in at all. I hope you don't do that. Do not do that. Not in my life. I hope that that's not the route they go. But again, it's Kevin. I think I'm giving a lot of credence and credit to like, it's Kevin Williamson. Like, the guy knows better. He knows how to direct. He knows how to make this scary. This feels very scary. This feels very personal. You can just feel it with what you see in the trailer. Like, it feels very like, I'm going to come after you, Sid, but I'm going to go after the thing that's closest to you, which is your daughter. That seems so far like the biggest motivation that like we know about the movie.
It reminds me of, fittingly, like the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise where and it's not to discredit any of the other ones later, but like with each installment, there was a little bit more silly. And again, it's so self-aware that it's almost silly and people still love it. And there's still a great plot and you have like the same formula. But then when like Wes Craven's New Nightmare came in, like Freddy got fucking dark again. Like it was like, yeah, like, so I feel like, obviously, I'm not saying like, Kevin Williamson wasn't involved with that, but like if we're looking at kind of like this like Wes Craven evolution or like an OG stepping back in, as I guess is the best way to look at it, is like he's really honing back in on the scary, suspenseful element. And sure, there'll be some like fan service with maybe some lines, and we see like, you know, there's going to be characters, but I do think like the goal is to make Ghostface really scary again.
Yeah. Instead of make America great, make Ghostface great again. Like, please. That's the campaign I want. I make Ghostface great again, please.
Check out Blake's shop below.
Let's cut to a clip of Ghostface real quick. But yeah, these two trailers though, I do respect the fact that we've only gotten 2 small trailers about a minute in length, and not another full second trailer or full. I kind of appreciate that because a lot of people don't even like watching. I've got friends that don't like watching trailers because they think it ruins what's going to happen in the movie, and they're like, "Oh, I can already figure out like through the trailer what's going to happen." So I kind of appreciate we didn't get full trailers, and still with the 1 full trailer and the 2 sort of 1-minute trailers, the little teaser clips that we got. Sales are going crazy. So like hype is going crazy so far. They're releasing all these photos and stuff, these cool posters and everything. And just because of all of that, like this movie's garnering hype that 5 and 6 didn't, capture.
Well, I watched the trailers, but I'm not digging around online to see what's going on.
Right.
But today, almost like mistakenly, like because we were gonna talk about it, I went to go watch one, and I see all these other videos pop up, and there's like Cult of Stu, and I kind of just like glossed over what I was seeing there. But here's my thing. So I guess the reason I'm mentioning this is that we know like Roman's back.
Right.
So like, because to your point about press, so like we've had 2 trailers or 3-ish, and we know like Roman's back, David Arquette's back, and all these characters are finito. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They've got it. So I get why there's so much hope for like some kind of like, Stu involvement. But you and I've been thinking about this a lot. We talked about technology and we talked about impersonating with like AI and using that to be like manipulative. And I really hope that's what we see here, because like the little bit of like research that I did do, Scott Foley in an interview, like he was talking about like what he did. He's like, I showed up and recorded for a day, and they're like, oh, like what page of the script did you get? And he's like, oh, I didn't really get a script, and it was like very minimal. So I feel like these legacy characters like making appearances might have to do with my guess is like some kind of like manipulative play, which I hope is the case. The one thing, if I'm going to go like hard stew here, in the game day or big game trailer,
Mhm.
for a split second when Nev Campbell's in the house, or Sydney's in the house, and she has her gun drawn and she's going around, right before it cuts the scene, the TV turns on behind her in the background. And because like I went fucking fine tooth and comb on this one,
Oh, you did.
and it turns on, and I was like, well, Stu got the TV over the fucking head, like, but again, I don't think I'm still not going to angle that like it's Stu,
Mhm.
but I think with a killer who's really trying to pull back on everything Sydney has been through with Roman, with Stu, and all this, I feel like, or even drawing on a friend and being
Right.
like, here's Dewey, and like imagine like her seeing like a friend who's dead. I think we talked about this last time. I'm like, that's creepy, and I really
Yeah.
hope that like that kind of cat and mouse game and scare tactic is what we see employed here, because yeah, there's a ton of characters we know got hired to come back, but they're all dead.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I'm kind of hoping that's the direction they go in with that.
Yeah. I really do hope that that is the direction. Again, we talked about AI, we talked about voice manipulation, which is not uncommon. I mean, Scream 3, right? Like the voice manipulation can obviously be done. Like the killer seems to have AI technology before. Like he's got the best technology ever of all
Yeah,
time, you
he
know,
will
like
always be ahead of the curve when it comes to
yeah,
technology.
it's
Yeah.
technology's catching up to Ghostface. It's not the other way around ever. But aside from that, again, I'll say this. I appreciate that we got the length of the trailers that we did, because as much as we're talking about stuff, honestly, me, you, every reviewer who reviews Scream 7 trailer, we don't know shit. Like, I'll be the first one to say that we don't know.
And
I
listen,
don't know
like,
nothing.
I love jumping on here, but if anyone, let me just like toot your horn for a second here. But like, dude, like with how you unpack some of those other films in the franchise, I'd be DMing. Like, let's just put this out there. I'm not DMing Blake and being like, yo, dude, I think message me. But I think that's why I keep coming back to just more of like, it's fun making predictions when we do this,
Mhm.
but it's more of what do I want to see, and what do I enjoy more than anything. And I think
Right.
that is enough that I'm for it. Like, I'm like, I got my ticket. I'm here for the ride.
Right. Yeah.
And then we can like debrief after we watch it. And
Right. Yeah. Which we will probably
yeah.
more than once, because I gotta watch this movie more than once. I'm gonna watch it the day it come out. I'll watch it another day. I'm gonna watch it a whole week. If I could
Oh, yeah.
buy tickets for a whole week, I'll buy it for the whole week. I want to see this movie as many times as possible. But yeah, we at the end of the day, we don't know any more than what anybody else knows, and anything else that people are talking about that is absolute is just speculation.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what's going to happen, and I get there. I think there's been like, oh, reveals, and like here's a spoiler for this opening scene. I've absolutely avoided all of those, quite honestly, because I don't want to know. I also don't want to know everybody who's in this movie. I want to go into this movie and like guess who the killer is. I
Yeah.
don't want to have to, like, if it's not in the trailer, good. That's even more suspense for me. I don't want to go through the cast listing and look at the, hey, here's the poster and here's all the people and like, can you guess it? It's like, no, dude, I don't want to have to do all that. The least I know, the better. So that way, when I'm watching it, I actually feel like a fan who's trying to solve this, and not somebody who's like, oh, give me all the spoilers and all the latest, gossip about the movie, and let me know everything beforehand. So that way I am not surprised in the least. I want to be surprised. I want to be surprised.
I guess quick hot take here is that like, we love nostalgia, okay? But if you're in and around, me and Blake have disclosed our ages to each other before we hopped on here tonight. And if you're taking magnesium and Metamucil and these type of things as Blake and I do, and you truly are a nostalgic Scream fan, then you want to go in blind.
Uh-huh.
Like I hate my biggest pet peeve of like, let's just say like, the videos or community is like, if that's what you're about, like why, like you said, why would you scour the internet looking for like reveals or spoilers,
Mhm.
because think about the magic of these films stemmed from like, you're like, yo, next one's coming out. Cool. Me and my boys, or I'm taking a date and we're gonna go watch the next Scream. And
Right.
you went into it not knowing shit because your dial-up internet was shit. And and not
Mhm.
everyone was posting every answer, but that's what made it magical. And the old grumpy man in me is trying to preserve a bit of that, where like trailer, cool, like that's what we that's what we got on TV too. Like you watched TV, when
Mhm.
Scream came out, you saw a trailer. But that's it. And like you said, I'm content with just giving what they've teased. I feel like it's just been enough. It's been very on brand and at par with like other Scream trailers, like you mentioned, kind of teasing some kills and whatnot.
Right.
But I feel like it's done just exactly what it needs to do to lure us in and get the attention. And after
Mhm.
that, we go in for the ride, and that makes it even more exciting.
Like any good murder mystery, you're not here to try to solve it before you watch the movie. You're to solve it as you watch the movie. And that's the beauty of this. So like, I'm with you, man. The less I know, the better. And it's going to be good regardless. I'm super stoked for this movie. Again, I'm going to watch it plethora of times. And when it comes out, I can't wait to link back up with you, dissect it, go over if we got anything right, wrong, if we're indifferent about anything.
Yeah.
Always happy to have you on to break it on down. Before we get out of here, man, any predictions of anything that you'd like to see that would round out anything that you're like, I'd really like to see this and it would prove the internet wrong or prove the internet right, or this, that, or the other? Anything from you that you'd like to see out of Scream 7?
I guess I kind of just go back to however it plays out. I don't know if it'll happen because it's such a lucrative franchise, but we see like Sydney saying, it's going to take me to really bring this to an end. And I feel like this feels like it has the energy that like, and this is coming from like a #1 Halloween fan, that like the new Halloween franchise wanted, like the showdown between like, your final girl and the killer. So the idea of like the burning house, burning it all down, and Sydney having a kid now and being like, okay, like if I'm gonna bring this shit to an end, I feel like the killer on the other end is someone who's also like, fuck this, fuck the legacy, screw all this stuff. Like they even have this like really deep rooted obsession, but like anger or vengeance that they want to seek with Sydney. I feel like it needs to be something that like maybe I feel like ends this chapter. This wasn't going to happen anyway. So I feel like whatever it is, like, I don't know if that means like, Sydney's knocked off at the end, but because they'll always find a way to keep Scream going. And I understand why in terms of like business, but I think like this is a great way to bring many aspects of this chapter to a close. And I think like, I'd be really happy with that playing out that way.
No, I like that. I think specifically for me, you've got to kill off a twin, whether it's Mindy or Chad. One of them have to die.
Yeah.
And then I think if you're not going to kill Sid, you kill her daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. There has to be something
has to happen that has like impact. Otherwise we're like,
you know what? Like,
what are we doing?
You perfectly worded like I guess what I was kind of like fetching for was like something with impact, because like if you're going to have a Scream 8, then Sydney's daughter was killed. And now she's pissed. And we can keep this like for sure. Like, and then, then maybe we have a Scream 8 with even a more of this like Laurie Strode, like she's hunting ready for, well, you know what I mean? Like, so I think that like it has to be impactful and so, someone has to be sacrificed.
Yeah, somebody has to be sacrificed to the Scream gods. And if it's not Sydney's daughter, it's Gail. Like somebody has to go. Like, and it's got to be impactful. And I know with Isabella May, all the kids are like, "Oh my god, dude!" I have seen this in my comments. Even when Scream 7 got announced, and they're like, "So what do you think about Isabella May playing Sydney's daughter?" And I'm like, "Who the fuck is that guy?" Let's get to a clip of Conor McGregor right now.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
Like, I don't know who that is. Like, why do these kids know who this is? And then they interviewed Isabella May recently, and she was like, I just need to tell y'all guys. They were like a press conference or a screener. She was like, I had never watched Scream before they put me in the movie. I'm sorry. And I'm like, of course you fucking didn't. Of course.
Yeah.
You know who else didn't? Aaron Kruger, who wrote Scream 3, and that was not one of the funnest ones that we've had. So like,
but you know what? But then part of me is like, maybe it's just again more of the genius of like, I mean, this almost sounds like I'm discrediting Drew Barrymore because she was actually really involved and being able to hear interviews after, like she was like invested in it, but knowing when to pull on young talent and to, like, again, keep it relative. But then, if we're following tradition here, then they're not shying away. The Scream franchise won't shy away from killing off young talent, even though it makes an appearance for one film. So
yeah,
like you said,
Isabella May could be the new, Jenna Ortega, the new Melissa Barrera. Like, we don't know what she could do, but like, and I don't know the direction they're going to go, but I do know you leave it to Kevin Williamson. Like, there has to be some impact. Something has to happen. You can't have these legacy characters going on, and like everybody has, what do they call it? Plot armor. Like, somebody got to get it, and somebody's got to get it good. And it would be the most throwed off thing if like Sydney's daughter was involved with the killings too, and that's why she has to die. Like, what a horrible, but also like, what is going on? Because who would know more about Sydney and the house and everything than the daughter if she teamed up with a killer going against her mother, who wronged her because of she is her mother and because of how, whatever. Like, that would be insanely
a lot
wild.
of therapy sessions
that need to be happened. That need to happen because of that. Yeah, for sure. But I think for right now, this is where we're going to leave it at until we know more, until we see the movie. But Mike, as always, dude, thank you for coming on to take some time to just theorize with me and have some talks and have some thoughts, man. I really appreciate it.
Dude, I appreciate it. I'm usually just walking around work, ready to just like vomit all my thoughts on Scream on anyone, and I have to turn to my boy Blake to jump on here and have some fun. But yeah, I'm excited, man, because I feel like it's great. Like, we're just working with the minimal info that we have, and like I said, someone as talented as yourself who picks these films apart, there's only so much you can work with, and you've kind of honored like, hey, I'll take the trailers and that's it. So I'm stoked to watch the film and then meet you on the other side, and and then debrief and talk about it. Like you said, like what we got right, what we got wrong, what we liked. I feel there's so much fun that's going to come out of this. So thank you, man, for always involving me, because I need someone to talk to, man.
Absolutely. There's nobody else I'd rather include. I'll go to the loony bin with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be there with you always. Mike, thank you for taking some time to come on tonight. For people that don't know all what you do, or that want to follow you and hear more of your thoughts about this, other films, anything that your other whiskeys, you do so much stuff. So just let people know, take over my show and let people know.
Yeah. All right.
Where they can find you and what you're talking about.
Primarily, if you want to know what I'm up to, I'm usually on Instagram. That's kind of like the bread and butter, where I do like my whiskey and horror pairings and find my parallels between what I'm drinking and what I'm watching. On YouTube, Whiskey Morgue. I mean, you've probably seen me tagged here and doing stuff with Blake. Traditionally, the podcasts are on there. I do the Whiskey Morgue podcast, where I get to talk to people like the original Ghostface, Lee Waddell, and other really cool people while sipping some whiskey. And as of late, been able to put together some fun short form content. So yeah, I mean, between Instagram, YouTube, that's all you really need to do to follow me. It's pretty simple, but
Pretty simple.
but there's a lot. There's always a lot going on, and but at least I make it easy to find me in two places. So
of course.
Yeah. Oh, actually, one more. There's a friend of mine started up Black Static magazine that drops in 2 weeks, towards the end of February. And if you dig what I do on Instagram with pairings, because I'm a writer at heart, I'm doing a little bit more longer form content in terms of like my whiskey and movie pairings in that magazine. So Black Static Magazine is the plug. But yeah, if like, you know, Instagram, there's a short attention span there. I push the limits as is already with reading a few paragraphs below, but I'm excited to be able to like have a little bit more room to play and flesh out some of these fun pairings. So if you're into reading about that and the whiskey and some stuff behind it in the films and all that connects, then yeah, it'll be over at Black Static Magazine.
And what a lovely shirt you have too.
Yeah, from Bloody Disgusting.
That shirt
sweet.
is dope. That's a sweet shirt, bro. I love it.
Yeah, and it has like the 96 colorway, like it's just like neon, and I'm like, yeah,
green and the purple.
yeah.
I love it. I work for a company that called that Stankonia colors. Shout outs to Outcast because they used a lot of the green and the purple. So Stankonia green and Stankonia purple. If you guys don't know Outcast, get some culture in your life because Outcast is one of the most amazing duos in hip hop that we've ever seen. If you're already online and looking for all the things that Mike from Whiskey Morgue is doing, feel free to follow me, Money Blakeweather, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I'm usually very active on Instagram doing a lot of whiskey content and sipping a great whiskey tonight. Actually, I sipped 2 of them. Saints Alley, made by Iron Root. And then a Still Austin pick from Total Wine's a single barrel cast strength. They're incredible. But yeah, you can check me out on Instagram, usually doing a whole bunch of whiskey stuff and movie stuff. You could follow me here on YouTube doing all the murder mystery stuff. If you see this very soon after this comes out, look out for the Scream 6 Every Clue breakdown. I am so excited to get that out and to end the series after 2 years, starting it back in 2024 and ending it now in 2026. It's sort of been the, I don't know, what's the right word where it's your, you know, with your art piece, but it's the thing that like, there's a word for it in art, right? Where it's like, oh, this is my, all, whatever, the peak of like where all of my work has led is the Scream series. It's breaking down the Scream series,
Like the piece de resistance.
Piece, yeah, exactly that, like that type shit. You know what I mean? Exactly that. Again, Canadians got take great words, amazing words. In Canada, we love that. Love the
sprinkle in a poutine and
they love the
listen
poutine.
after the Bad Bunny halftime show. It's Canada, okay? It's not even Canada anymore. It's
we're all America.
Yeah.
But yeah, feel free to follow me. Feel free to follow Nerds at Night on YouTube. Click like, click subscribe, comment. So thank y'all so much for tuning in for another episode of Nerds at Night. Again, look out for the breakdown of Scream 6. And of course, look out for me and Mike's what do you call it? Post. What do they call it? Post
Debrief?
the debrief. Our debrief
yeah.
of Scream 7 once it comes out. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, making the channel what it is. Without y'all, there is no us. So thank y'all so much. And like I always say, whether it's morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're listening to this, I do appreciate you. And until the next episode, I will see ya. Peace.